Let's get into some of the reporting that's available directly from within the enterprise asset management system. There are traditional kind of canned reports. There's also Power BI analytical reports that are available directly within the system. Right now, let's go ahead and just look at the reports that are based on the EAM system. On the main screen, there's a report. You also click on your hamburger menu, which is going to see all of your reports as well. Or you can click on your magnifying glass, type reports. But let's just go off of the main screen so we can see the reports that are available to us. We click on the caret next to it. We can see that we've got a general maintenance statistic report, an assets report. So we can see assets that have individual counters. We can see assets that have posted rounds. We can see asset downtime analysis, any maintenance strategies, preventative versus corrective strategies that are in the system. We can look at work orders. So work orders that have been completed by technicians, any unassigned work, consumption, failures by assets, failures by downtime entries, work orders by priorities, a bunch of built-in reporting for you. I just want to look at maintenance statistics right now. I'm going to run that. I'm going to show you all of my assets, and I want to look at my maintenance let's look at it by quarter. Let's look at all of our maintenance costs as well. And I want to look at all of our assets. This is going to give you my general maintenance statistics reporting for all of my assets by period. And you can see I haven't delimited this down to the date range I want to see. So it's gone all the way back to 2015 when we first started making entries within the system. That's not very functional, is it? Let's look at a good report. Assets. Okay, vast amount of built-in reporting within the system. Today, let's just look at a couple before we switch over to look at the analytical reporting, which is really a little bit more functional for us to be able to visualize the data and drill through it. But let's look at a few reports that are available to you right out of the box, right within the system. Let's look at our work orders, and let's say we want a report that tells us what individual technicians have been doing what work. Underneath my reports tab and underneath work order, I can look at my technician work orders. And let's say I want to look at the technician work orders that have been done all the way back to, let's go to the start of this year. Actually, let's go to the start of last year and see what the entries are. So I want to look at any technician work that's been done from January 1st, 2023 to all the way to today. So I'm going to look at what work has been done by what technician for the last year and some change. And I don't care about resources. I want to know all resources, what they've been done. Let's look at everything that's been done in the last year and some change. Let's do a preview. Get some basic reporting information that comes up. So these are canned reports that are within the system, flat, printable, not interactive, but it's going to give you information on individual work orders. So this is everything. This happens to be for the technician, that's me. My capacity, so my total amount of hours that I had available in the system. It'll show you the time that I had on those work orders or those work orders plans, and it'll show me the remaining time. So this is actually showing you the amount of work that was executed by me compared to the amount of availability that I had. And the reason why I show this is that we're going to show you a different capacity view from an analytical standpoint, which is a lot more powerful because it's going to show me week by week how much I had available versus how much I consumed. If I look further down the report, I'm going to see any current work orders that are open. I'm going to see any planned work orders by the date, and I'm going to see any posted work orders by those periods. So this is giving you all the information by individual technician within the system. So this happens to be for Catherine. We keep on scrolling over. Here's a report for Lena. Here's a report for Marty. So lots of really good flat reports in the system, whether it's maintenance technician work, whether it's individual asset statistics, whether it's failure information. We have a lot of flat reports in the system, but they don't tend to be very functional for us. But directly within Business Central, we've got our Power BI reports as well. So now let's look at the analytical information, which is more of the interactive, where we can drill into some more data. Our reports are built kind of front to back, how the workflow within the system works. So everything from requests to work orders, look at our individual assets, our cost explorer. We can do some priority analysis, work type analysis, category codes, or schedule compliance. All of these reports are completely interactive. So I'm allowed to click any place. It'll give me a delimited list of the information that I'm interested in. So here you can see I've clicked on safety. When I click on safety, this happens to be request. It's going to show me the safety requests in the system versus, hey, what requests came in that were mechanical. You can adjust the reports by year as well. So if you only want to look at an individual year, you can. If you only want to look at an individual month, let's say I only wanted to look at March 2024 or everything in the system. You can also look at it by week. So all of this information, very interactive. You can click on anything and industry standard KPIs. So what are the total amount of requests that came into the system? What's new within the last period? Our period happens to be 20 days. What's currently open? What's been converted from a request into work orders to give us a conversion rate? It also allows us to see what was high priority, what was emergency versus what was low requests that came in. And then we can go from requests into work orders and see individual information on the work orders. So again, the interactive reports and the analytical reports tend to be highly functional for our customers rather than doing the flat system generated reports. It's really up to the customer, but the benefit is you can drill down through the data to find the information that you need within the analytical data, whereas the flat reports, the benefits aren't as apparent because usually they're answering a few questions and then I need to go and dig a little bit deeper. And I'll give an example of that as we get a little bit further into the demonstration of reporting. Work orders, much like requests, we can look at year, month, week. I'm going to look at all of the work orders in the system. When I do that, it's going to show me, hey, how many work orders do I have? What's open? What's my work order completion rate? How many PMs do I have scheduled to generate my PM completion rate? And these are industry standard KPIs, right? I want to know that I'm doing more corrective work orders, more preventative work orders than I'm doing corrective work orders. We have a drill down within our analytical reports on work orders as well. So if I click on my round order number 1, there's a little plus next to it. If I click on it, it's going to give me, hey, this is who did the work, what's the description of the work order, the priority, when it's being done, the category is inspection, exactly when it's being done, the amount of hours it took. So you're going to get all of the information about your work orders and be able to drill into the detail from a single pane of glass rather than running flat reports. So it makes it really valuable for our customers, especially when they're doing their monthly meetings, to pull this up and walk through how many requests do we have, how many have been converted, how many work orders by what type have been into the system, and then in the meeting be able to drill down to what the costs are. So requests, work orders, and let's go into the costs. So this is something that's very, very important for all of our customers to be able to look at what are my total maintenance costs, what was my spend based on items, expenses, and resources, not necessarily from a budget standpoint, but where am I spending my most effort? And I'm going to look at all of the entries within my Cost Explorer. The big important things that we need to look at just on our overall costs, and it's a really simple but really important KPI and a huge benefit to our customers to have this from one frame of glass, is if I'm doing more preventative maintenance that I'm doing corrective maintenance, that's directly reflected in the uptime of my operation. So here in our little graphic in our left-hand corner, we want to see that we're doing more preventative maintenance than corrective maintenance over time. If we're doing that more preventative maintenance, we're going to see that reflected in the uptime. If we're doing more corrective maintenance, it means we're just doing more firefighting and break fixing. In our Cost Explorer analytics, we can look at total maintenance costs for a specific period, year, month, or week. In this case, I've just left everything on. And I need some information on the breakdown of what my maintenance costs are. So there's a little bit of AI that's built in the system that allows you to travel through where you're spending the most effort from a financial point of view. So here's my total maintenance cost. If I drill through it, my highest costs are already posted, so it's work that I've already done. The area with the highest costs happens to be in our plant. It happens to be corrective maintenance. These happen to be one-off work orders, so they weren't planned. Lots of low priority work, so lots of break fix stuff, and a lot of items that we're consuming. So this gives us really good information on where our focus is from a cost standpoint. We know that we've got a lot of work that we're doing. We've got a lot of work that we're doing in the plant. We've got a lot of corrective maintenance that we're doing. We have a lot of one-off work, a lot of low priority break fix stuff, and a lot of items, broken items that we're consuming to fix. So this is really great information for our finance managers, for our mill managers, our mine managers, our operations folks to see where is our focus and give them the detailed breakdown of all of those individual components, including being able to get to right to the work orders so that our mill manager and our general manager can ask the question about why things are costing so much and what are we focusing on. And I go right back to biggest KPI driver is down here in the left-hand corner. Make sure that we're doing more preventative maintenance than we're doing corrective maintenance, because that's going to be completely reflected in the uptime of your facility. If we want to get into another layer deeper, we can get priority analysis. We can look at, was this high, medium, or low type work? We can get into work type analysis. Was this electrical instrumentation? Was it piping? Was it what type of work were we actually doing? Was it inspection work? And then we can get into category analysis, but let's look at something like schedule compliance, which we saw in the flat report. Schedule compliance allows us to see, one, an industry standard KPI. If I'm planning for 80% of my available hours to be on tool time, I'm probably in the top 10%, probably really high on the capability maturity model for maintenance when I'm scheduling up to that level. So one of the really, really great things from the system is to see, hey, what's my resource capacity? So how much time do I have to schedule to resources? Be able to see how much has been booked against those resources by period, either year, month, or week, and be able to see the unscheduled capacity in real time to be able to figure out what your schedule compliance is. And here we can see total year to date for the last 3 years, because I think we only have 3 years in the system. No, we have 4 years in the system. My schedule compliance has been really bad. I've only been 4.3%. So that means out of the total available hours that I've had over the last couple of years, I've only scheduled 4.3% of the work. So for our customers, again, a huge benefit to be able to say, I've got 3,000 hours worth of capacity, and I booked 2,800 to resources to show that you have a high level of schedule compliance. The reason why we have the analytical reports built in is, although the flat reporting is really interesting, it's not as interactive. It doesn't allow you to do real-time slicing and dicing. And the analytical reporting tends to be the stuff that you end up putting in PowerPoint presentations if you're not sitting directly in front of a computer displaying the analytical reports to your team during a daily, a weekly, a quarterly meeting to just talk about generally what's the health of your maintenance organization.